What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today, guys, we are here to talk about Heretic on 4K. This is the latest release from A24. Now, this is a site exclusive, so to get this particular edition, you have to get on the A24 website. I will link it down below. Now, this is the 4K version. There is also a Blu-ray version available as well, but it should also be noted that there is a more wide release of this that is available on the Walmart website and is also available on Amazon and probably available at Barnes & Noble. It's very likely you'll see that edition in the actual Walmart stores and Barnes & Noble. And like I said, it's on Amazon as well, which I will link down below. And the 4K, I should add, is exclusive to the A24 website. The ones that you'll find in stores and on Amazon is the Blu-ray edition. So yeah, we're going to dive into all things Heretic. I will be talking about the film itself, guys. So look, if you don't want to know anything about this movie, it's probably not a good idea to watch this review, because even when we get into, somebody got upset with the last review that I did because I went too much into the plot. I'll never just get on here and give very specific plot details and tell you all the twists and turns. I don't do that. But I will talk about what the film is about, the themes, the messaging, stuff like that. I will incorporate that into the review. So if you don't want to know anything about this film, which this is kind of a movie that you really want to go into as cold as possible, because I didn't know anything. I didn't watch the trailers or anything like that. Even the cards that are included in here, which I'll be showing off, kind of gives stuff away about the movie. So if you don't want to know anything, I recommend that, you don't even watch this review. I'm just showing you this. It's available. Check out the links down below if you're slightly interested. Then, maybe get this on 4K, get it on Blu-ray. But I want to give you all that heads up because I don't want to spoil this movie for anybody. And again, I'm not going to give specific plot details, but I am going to discuss the film. I'm going to talk about it. Even if I were just talking about the 4K, it would be impossible for me to cover the 4K and point out specific scenes and things that happen in the movie and how it looks in 4K, without spoiling anything about the film itself. So, yeah, just wanted to point that out. Before we get into it though, guys, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, we talk about physical media on this channel, guys. We like owning stuff physically. I think that this is available to rent as of right now on streaming, but I don't think it's available for free on any particular streaming service. I think you got to pay $19.99 to get this on streaming. Now, I'm not against streaming, but we talk about stuff physically, guys. We like owning stuff physically. I appreciate the fact that A24 did put this out physically for us to enjoy. Now, most of A24 releases, guys, they're coming out through A24. They're not doing a lot of Lionsgate stuff anymore, I'm noticing. So you got to pay a little bit more to get these more premium boutique editions. And we'll do an unboxing of this as well. Anyway, guys, I'm already rambling too much. Like, comment, subscribe. If you saw this movie in the theaters, if you saw it on streaming, whatever, if you have this edition and watch it, let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comment section below. So this film is written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Wood. So they're a writing, directing team. And they are probably most notable or most notorious for writing the Quiet Place films. I think they wrote at least the first two with John Krasinski. And John Krasinski directed those films, but they did write the Quiet Place movies. They also wrote and directed a film called Haunt from a few years ago, which was kind of a haunted house horror film. I did see that. I did not love that movie, but I do maybe need to rewatch that one again. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind. And then they recently did a movie called 65 with Adam Driver, which was kind of a prehistoric, dinosaur, space sci-fi adventure movie, which I actually kind of enjoyed. A lot of people didn't love that movie, but I enjoyed that film. And then they did this movie, and I do think that out of everything they've done so far, and this will get into my thoughts on the movie, including A Quiet Place, I think this is the best thing they've ever done. This was a phenomenal, mind-bending thriller of a movie. And I would definitely throw it in the horror category as well, but it is also kind of a thriller that's very rooted in theology, religion. I just love how they break down religion. They really dissect religion in this movie. If you're a very religious person, this is going to be a movie that makes you think. Also, if you're not a religious person, this is going to be a movie that makes you think about a lot of things. I like how they tackle the subject matter here, because it's done so, like, if you watch this and like think to yourself, this is very heavy-handed and on the nose, it kind of is, but they do it in a way, they do it in a very smart way. It's a very smartly written film. I love the examples they give, the analogies that they give, the pop culture references that they give, that Hugh Grant gives in the movie. It feels like it's well done, if that makes any sense. And I think a lot of that has to do with the performances in the film. I think the performances are very good. I think Hugh Grant is incredible in this movie. Like, his delivery, like every single line of dialogue has such incredible like weight to it. And his performance is just filled with like such like gravitas. He is such a smooth performer just in general. But I really think that, you know, Hugh Grant has come a long way, I think, from the, you know, the older like British rom-coms of the past, or just like regular rom-coms he was in as well, to like now, like he's doing like maybe his most interesting work in his entire career right now. And he's done some other stuff. Like, he was on a TV show like a couple of years ago with Nicole Kidman that was very good as well. He was playing kind of a similar type character, kind of a darker character in that show as well as he is here. But he is so good. Like, I think that Hugh Grant is like next level in this film. How he didn't get nominated for Best Actor, like, I don't know. It's only because the Academy, they just don't care about genre films. They just don't hold any weight with the genre films. It's a damn miracle that The Substance is getting the praise that it's getting at this point. And I'm not saying this is a better movie than The Substance, but I think it's pretty damn close. This was a really good movie. This was a really good movie. And again, I don't want to get into like specific like plot spoiler details or thing like that, but it does revolve around two Mormon girls that show up to Hugh Grant's house to basically sell him on the religion, you know, the door-to-door thing. Hey, you want to check out this pamphlets, this brochure of our religion, and maybe we can convert you to it, that kind of thing. They show up there. He invites them in, and then things start happening. But they don't happen in the way that you would expect them to happen from like a normal thriller. Like, the way that things unfold and the way that they escalate, it feels very natural to the tone of the film, but also feels very different than anything you've ever seen before. Like, it takes it a while to get to the point where you're like, oh, this is the crap is hitting the fan. And it doesn't, I'm not trying to say that it's it's uninteresting in that time period. Like, maybe the movie's the most interesting when it's doing the slow build towards like the big finale and conclusion of it. So, I don't know. Really enjoyed the film. I think that Hugh Grant's phenomenal. Should have been nominated for Best Actor. I think the two girls are great. Sophie Thatcher, who was also in that recent film Companion, which I saw in the theaters like a week or so ago. She's great in the movie. Definitely a star on the rise. But the other girl, I think her name is Chloe East. She actually, like, to me, like, Sophie Thatcher is a more like understated performance in the film. She's a lot more like dialed down, but the other girl, like, she has a lot more to do. She's got a lot more dialogue as well. And she was phenomenal too. So I hope that girl gets some recognition that she deserves, because she was really good in the movie too. Now, getting into the 4K here, guys. This is a newer movie. I talk about this often, but you know, when it comes to newer movies, it's going to look good on Blu-ray. It's going to look on 4K. What really matters is what that HDR and that Dolby Vision does to enhance that picture quality. And I think for this movie in particular, first off, I think this might be one of the best like modern movies on 4K that I've ever seen. And I don't have the Blu-ray to compare it to, but I think this movie with that Dolby Vision, that HDR, what it does to those black levels and some of those darker scenes, which this movie is a darker movie. Like, they go into the house and things are like candlelit and stuff. Then you go into the darker corridors of the house, and there's some dark things. Again, I'm not trying to spoil things, but there's some dark hallways, some dark, like, you know, basements and stuff like that. And that stuff looks great, and you can just make everything out so perfectly. I'm watching this on my 65-inch OLED TV, and the black levels are just perfect. Everything's great. Everything has such great depth to it. You can make everything out, even in like the complete darkness, when you're not really supposed to like make out like certain things. The 4K helps you at least like see the shapes and see them like perfectly, and make out these little things that are actually like, you know, make it a little bit more scary, I think, because you can see a little bit more of that as well. So I think this 4K with that Dolby Vision, that HDR, really does wonders to the picture quality here. And I've heard from other people that saw this in the theaters that have seen this 4K. They were like, I'm seeing more things on this 4K than what I saw in the theaters. So I think that that is definitely worth noting as well. You're going to have maybe a higher picture quality with this 4K than when you saw it in the theaters, but just very crisp. Like, there's a lot of great close-ups in this film on the girls' faces, on Hugh Grant's face. Like, Hugh Grant does a lot of great just verbal acting. Like, he's great with the dialogue and stuff, but he also does a lot of facial acting as well. So these close-ups in on his face, you can just see every little detail. Like, it really adds to the depth of his performance. I think you can see a lot more little nuances and stuff like that. And I'm sure you can see that stuff in the Blu-ray as well, guys. I just think it adds a little bit extra layer to it in the 4K. So like I said, I haven't seen the Blu-ray. I'm sure the Blu-ray looks fine. I'm sure it looks perfectly fine. But I do think that this particular movie in 4K with the Dolby Vision HDR, I think that's probably the way to go. It just adds a lot more depth to the picture quality, which allows you to see a lot more. Now, getting into the sound here, this has Dolby Atmos, guys, and it has Dolby True HD 7.1. Sound quality was excellent. Like, I'm listening to this on a soundbar, so I don't have that full setup, but it kind of, simulates that 7.1, that 5.1. I thought it sounded excellent. It's not necessarily a movie that I think needs Dolby Atmos. Like, it's not a big, loud, like, explosive movie. But there are moments, that I feel like with horror films, they're trying to scare you. They're trying to really just up the tension with the sound design with a lot, at least the good horror films. And this film is a good horror film, and it definitely tries to build tension through sound. Movie's got terrific sound design. So there's a lot of little, like, creaks and things like that happen in the movie. Little small sounds and moments that really, like, amplify the tension, I think, with the Dolby Atmos and just improve sound quality. So I am glad that they included that here. And I do think that this particular movie kind of lends itself to having that upgrade and sound. Even though it wasn't absolutely necessary, in my opinion, I do think it's a better experience with it than without it. Now, get into the packaging here, guys. This is a nice digibook packaging from A24. You will also get the digibook packaging if you get this from Walmart or Amazon, but like I said, it's just a different cover. I should have already shown it by now, but you got the back of this. It'll give you the brief synopsis on the film. If you flip it over, I think that's some more information about it. And then down here under this picture, you got the special features and all that stuff as well. Take it out of the case, and you got this nice little digipack that opens up like this. You got an image of Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East sitting in the living room with Hugh Grant, which is pretty cool. You flip it, you got the 4K disc. You got some more images right there with the girls in a different room in the house. And then you can take out the disc. And I like the disc. I like the font work on it as well. Pretty cool. And then you got the full image of them right there. And look, guys, like I said, if you don't want to know anything about this film, I'm going to show off these art cards. Maybe click off the video, because these art cards kind of spoiled me when I first got into it. And I was a little upset because I had been avoiding, like, trailers and that kind of stuff. But right here, guys, you got some images from the film. The Taco Bell did not make sense to me at all when I first saw it. But then when you watch the movie, it does make sense. There's just a lot of fun references in this movie. At one point, Hugh Grant is literally impersonating Jar Jar Binks, and it's hilarious when he does it. But yeah, guys, on the back of these cards, I think if you put all these cards together, like, it'll show a diagram of the house or a map of the house, which is pretty damn cool. But yeah, no booklet or anything like that. I feel like there's been booklets in past A24 releases. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like they've had booklets with some information and stuff. Just art cards in this one. But that's fine. Getting into the special features, there is an audio commentary on here with the directors. I listened to a little bit of it, not a lot of it, just because I wanted some explanation and some clarity on, like, certain scenes. So I went back and tried to listen to it to kind of get it a little bit more information on the film. So it's good that that's on there. Maybe I'll listen to that at some point. And then there's a 15-minute making of in here as well that kind of goes into the film and the performances, and has some interviews with Hugh Grant and the actresses in the film as well. That is pretty good. But I'll be honest, guys. Here's my issue. Not really an issue with the movie. I love the movie. I thought the 4K was great. My only issue is if A24 is wanting to create a more boutique experience with making these exclusive to their website, doing these themselves, not relying on Lionsgate. I think they need to add a little bit more. I think that this should have had, because I think this 4K on the site is going for 35 bucks. I think the Blu-ray is 30. And also I think it's 30 on Amazon, but I think the 4K is 35 bucks. If you're going to be charging that much, because back in the day when these would come out through Lionsgate, 4K would be 25 bucks and the Blu-ray would be 20. So if they're going to upcharge to provide a more boutique experience, you got to give us a little bit more than just a small digipack with some art cards. Okay. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, add a few new special features, really make it feel like a boutique experience. And some of their past releases have had a couple of features. Like, there's been 2 on some of the past releases, but just with this one in particular, there's only 1. So I kind of think that that's a little bit lame. Honestly, if I'm just being blunt, a little bit lame to only have a 15-minute, special feature here. Maybe a couple of others, more in-depth features, more interviews, stuff like that. There's some things they could have done, like because this movie is so full of like thematic elements and themes of religion and stuff. There's so much you could have done with the features there. But you know what? It's a good addition otherwise. And I love the movie. I think it's one of the best movies that came out in 2024. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of Heretic, the 4K edition of A24. Please, if you can, if you would like, hit the subscribe button. We're going to review more stuff on this channel, talk about more physical media stuff on the channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below, turn on those bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.